Hey there team, we're back to Tol Falas with a pretty cool little 4v3 evil men versus good men. I'm taking Can to the field. To my left we've got Rune, to the right of that Rude Hour, and then bringing up our far right flank there is Umbar. I'll probably let me shuffle my forces around a bit. Hopefully Sun will have his forces in a more organised fashion. He's got his Loknarim, his Variag mercenaries, Eastron crossbows, no armor upgrade, and more Eastron crossbows over there too. A little bit jumpy. Cease this jumping. Thank you. Then Lok Scion Rim behind them, some Flag Rim, and the Dragon's Wrath Guildsmen, who have now just gone into sneaky mode. Some Variag mercenary riders there, which is a sound strategy. Is that where he's put his general? No, it's not. It's just be an interesting spot. And we of course have the fearsome Dragon's Breath cannon. That is that though. Yeah, cool. So, myself, I've decided here to split my force in half, send some of it to support the relatively well-armoured forces of Rune as they push through Death Valley, but the bulk of my forces will be moving down the right. So I've got my Variag warriors there, of course, with an armour upgrade. I just love how they look with this, you know, there's just something about like this aesthetic inside of the Lord of the Rings setting that I find quite pleasing. Then Nurad Halberds, next to some Nurad Footmen, and the Nomadic Raiders there up front. In the center position, I've got my Nurad Halberds, some Nurad Footmen, double Nomadic Marauders, and some Nomadic Scouts there. Nomadic Scouts actually do have an anti-cavalry bonus in melee, which is pretty beneficial, you know, makes their really quite naff melee attack a bit better. But the main focus for them is, of course, javelins. Variag Bowman, once again with the armor upgrade, just once again because I like it. No excuse for that, really. Double Brotherhood here, Brotherhood of the Axe and Brotherhood of the Sword next to them. I think this is definitely an armor upgrade. Might it be? Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes. Next to some Brotherhood of the Sword there, and it doesn't look like I've given them an armor upgrade. In front, some Nomadic Raiders, Nurad Stormguard. That's where I put my general today. Yes, no, maybe? No, it's definitely not. Nomadic Raiders, let's see where I have put my general. Double Nurad Footmen, Nurad Halberds and Nurad Footmen again, and then Variag Warriors and Variag Warriors. Where's my general? We'll hunt for my general at some point. He'll be hidden somewhere. Oh wait, he's with the Axemen? That's really dumb. Why have I put him with the Axemen? We'll see how that turns out. Cletete is here. He has his Herenidane Rangers there. Marksmen, Doonman Hunters, double. Axe Throwers were hiding. Frodrum Javelins. Berserkers, that's where he's got his jet. No, it's not. Witchrum Enslavers. Still no general. Double Pikes, Dunman Pikes, and Herenidane Pikes. Nice big formation of Rude Hour Swordsmen. Yeah, lots of Rude Hour Swordsmen. Nice to see. With some Dunman Spears in front. Lastly, we'll slow it on down to, we'll go to 0.5 because there's usually a bit of mucking about at the start of Tol Falas. Oops, yep. He is over here. This is Agalar. Alcarondas Legion up front, backed up by some Belagar archers. Balakav Axe Guard, Corsair Infantry, Shield Guard, Sentinels, and Harbingers of Castamere. So not incredibly beefy army. There might be there's probably some Corsair crossbows hidden somewhere, of course, but yeah, not a massive force, but you wouldn't really expect it from Umbar. They've definitely got the best elite potential out of everybody. Y2K is rushing on forward, and I do suspect we have a grace period. So let's just go back to 1 speed. Dunedain Rangers here, Evanham Archers. Nice sort of, we saw some more Rangers. Defenders, Marksmen, just sort of running through this. Dismounted Knights of Illuminus, Troll Slayers. Good, yeah, and Pikes. Let's zoom on through that. Arthanane Pikemen at the back. Not a lot of armor upgrades for those Arthanane Pikemen, but he has got a heck of a lot of elite units. So we will let him off with that. Over here, what is... Oh, yeah, whoops, that's the other side of the bridge. Some Tirith Air Marksmen. We actually have some men advancing up there, the Shadow Bows. So this is Dol Amroth, his first ally, Cole, over here. Tier 3 marksmen again, and Doran Earl archers. Running on down here, Black Swan renegades and Peridhel champions. Some halberdiers there too. And more Edhilland men at arms. Some spears, Tornastian spears, yep. And Belfalis marines. And their last ally is over here as Gondor, played by the Venture One. So he's got his Fountain Guard, Axeman of Losanak with an armor upgrade, good to see. Raven Helms, Axeman, Gondor infantry mixed up with some guards of Osgiliath, very sturdy. Gondor archers and veterans of Osgiliath out the front with an armor upgrade. Up on this hilltop, marksman of Kirandros. And Gondor infantry, Gondor militia infantry, Raven Helms, Citadel Guard, and Citadel Guard. So not really much cavalry. I thought that there was a unit of Mithrandir's retinue, but we'll keep an eye out for it. No cavalry from Dol Amroth or Arthedain, who, Arthedain is also a very sturdy cavalry force. So, quite surprised to see that, but because Tol Falas, you can do a fair bit of damage, but no. I guess the boys have decided to just play it safe. With Sun's shadow bows running up that hillside, he can of course get a great shot down on that hilltop next to it. Let's settle down for a bit and just sort of watch the mini-map and go up to 2 times speed. So I'll take this moment to say it now, in case anybody's not watched the announcement video. Midway through next month, I'm going to be going away. By that I mean midway through March, I'm going to be going away for a little over a month, for sure. But then after that, you know, fingers crossed, I'll be away for a little bit longer. I'm going to be scheduling videos to be released while I'm away, but only really for that first 5 weeks. So if I am away longer than 5 weeks, then oh well, we'll just have to see what happens with that. I might have to just supplement my content with a few random recordings that I can get here and there, but for the most part, that should be okay. So if you have a video that you want me to, well, if you have a battle that you want me to make a video on, then please try to get it to me by the 20th of February, because after that I'm really going to be quite, busy, I think, getting ready to go, and I think that's really it. Yeah, so I'll be mentioning that in a few videos in the future, just, but I'll always try and do it at the very start of the battle, so that people can kind of just zoom over it. Dragon's Breath Cannon here from Sun. You can get some good damage down Death Valley, but when we are limited to 1 artillery piece per team, you do need to sometimes, you know, take a step back and really think, where is the best place to use this? So, but we trust Sun to be able to do that. Nobody's really going to be, it's not like when you've got quite a new player who's brought the artillery and you have to sort of be guiding him through, you know, here's the best place and so on. Sun knows all the spots far better than I do. Tol Falas is definitely one of my favourite maps. It is one of the defensive maps where I really think the defenders can get away with a 3v5, but considering, you know, we're all the attackers really kind of know what we're doing. We don't have any newbies on the attack, and at this point, this was played back in like mid-November, so Cole was kind of newer. So as I say, they may have a damn good map in their favour, but we've got experience, so I still felt pretty confident about it. But no, Tol Falas is one of the maps I definitely think that you can do a 5v3, because there's a lot of maps that people do try and do 5v3s on, and I just don't think it's possible. Well, it probably is possible when you've got the right people, but it ain't easy. So I'm leaving a few men in reserve up here, some Variag bowmen. Well, they're actually all I'm leaving up there, and that's just to kind of go wherever they need to go. If Sun needs me to use up a bit of enemy ammunition, they'll go over that way. They might lack a shield, but with that decent quality armor on them, they can take a good bit of a pounding. They actually do have a little shield. Sorry, I expected it to be on their back, but so they can really sort of absorb a good bit of fire, which is why I brought them. I didn't really, and at the same time, like, they're not bad archers, so they can get a bit of killing done. But as I always say, when I'm on the attack in a siege, my archers are there to use up enemy ammunition. That's really it. I rely on my infantry to get the job done, to get my killing done. And yeah, I didn't want to put my general in with the Storm Guard, just kind of because the Storm Guard provide a morale buff of their own, and also I really wanted the freedom to use this exceptional halberd unit wherever I felt they would best be used, you know, without having, and whenever they would best be used. I didn't want to be worried about losing my general. So still, if I could go back, I would have probably put him in with the Brotherhood of the Sword rather than the Brotherhood of the Axe. It was a bit of a weird choice for me. Damn, the Brotherhood of the Sword are cool looking dudes, aren't they? Just love those two. See, you call them scabbards, but sheath. I would say a sheath sounds a lot. Yeah, scabbard for me is like for you know, that's for like a cutlass. That's for like a really kind of naff sword. You wouldn't really, the Brotherhood of the Sword are, you know, they wouldn't really be using a scabbard in my mind. So we looks like we're about to get our first real engagement, as both the defenders and attackers are coming forward with some real fodder archers. Aguilar is exposing some of his shield guard there, which they might have a sturdy armor value. I think I'm going to go back to normal speed now. They have a sturdy armor value and a decent shield, but they are a good quality unit in my mind. So yeah, I don't know. Like, this is a tough situation whether or not you would shoot them. You know, they'd be able to take a lot of that fire, but at the same time, killing that off, you're removing a pretty decent unit from the field. This is really something where your ally on Death Valley needs to be cautious. They need to, they just need to take their time. They need a lot of patience. And, oh gosh. We took a bit of damage from a trebuchet. It must have been to reach all the way out there. Where is that treb? I don't see it. No, I do not see it. Is it out here in front of Death Valley? No. I'm not sure how those men died. Oh well, they are dead all the same. Ah, good. Mithrandir's retinue. I knew they'd be somewhere. There's Gandalf himself. But yeah, so we saw Sun is moving his Dragon's Breath cannon over to the right side to assist us, which we are very grateful for. There's a lot more of the enemy over here, but I still think you can get some good shots over at Death Valley. So, as I mentioned before, my nomadic raiders are really just here to take fire, so I'm just marching them up and sending shots over. I'd love to be trying to hit that pike line, but I don't think that they're in range. I think the nomadic raiders just lack the range to pull off those shots, so I'm kind of just sending pot shots at the Evandem archers, just to try and basically make them shoot back at me. I'm not really wanting to use up too much ammo, so I'll stop them doing that in a minute. Variag bowmen, however, they've got a touch more range, so I'd love to get them to shoot into this pike formation. Right now, Aguilar's got his Beligar archers coming in and blasting into the front of the formation, which is it's gonna hurt them, but these Arthedain guys have some decent armor and some heavy shields. Oh, when you can shoot over, though, because of this slight slope, they are able to strike at the pikemen quite nicely. And Aguilar's actually coming forward with an Arthedain men-at-arms unit, a heavily armored Arthedain men-at-arms unit, so they will be able to do some good work. And right now, there's only really the shield guard that could get in their way. So they'll catch a few of these archers. Most of them will get away, but not bad. Definitely more efficient to tackle the enemy archers with your infantry if you can safely do so. But the issue now is that Y2K's men have to run away again, and they might be heavily armored, but they're not getting that shield value as they're being shot in the back by those arrows. So that won't be too fun for them. I move up my Variag bowmen. As I say, I've even managed to jump a few shots into the Arthedain men-at-arms, but the Evandem archers are targeting me now. And as I say, that's kind of what I want. I'd prefer them to be shooting at my nomadic raiders, but you know, hey, you got to do what you got to do. So I've had these guys holding fire now. They do still have ammunition, but I just didn't want them using it. And luckily, I am taking even more fire now, so I'm chuffed to bits. If I'm making the enemy use ammunition, I'm usually a happy guy. As long as they're not using their ammunition on something that I really want. That is very true. So what we decide to do here is move up and take this middle section. So I'm supporting Sun. I'm supporting my fellow Variag men. The ones, of course, fighting for me, fighting for their lord and honor, whereas Rune's Son of the Dunedain's Variag men are fighting for money. But hey, there's no real complaints. We're all on the same side here. So my halberds are more just up there in case their Mithrandir's retinue comes screaming forward. That's the main purpose of my Nurad men. Just to back them up and shoulder a little bit of that burden. Because right now I really don't have too much over there. I've got some Nurad footmen and some Variag warriors, but that's it. That's really all I've got supporting Sun. The vast majority of my forces, as I say, are over here, just taking fire. So these poor nomadic raiders get down to about 30. And if I let them get shot down any more than that, they will just be totally... They just won't be useful at all. So I just want to get them out of that area so that at least I've still got these, well, 27 men. Because the two... Oh, still 27 men that will be firing off their arrows. So if I can just pull them out, then they can be used later. And I move the Variag bowmen up to that superior position, or arguably superior position. And we can see what their extended range can do with it. Looks like another counterattack. The Vengeful One's actually got his militia all the way over here. This is militia with an armor upgrade, so they're a bit sturdier. Coming up against the Adunheim Shield Guard, though, is going to be just a struggle for them. At least they've got the Spear Malice on their side, but they're actually having a good fight there. Well done. I guess the Gondor Militia Infantry with that armor upgrade are actually as good as many factions' main line units. And being backed up by Forest-Aaron Defenders, who are, you know, they're probably a decent match for the Shield Guard, is certainly not a bad fight for them. Rudar Swordsmen coming forward. As much as I love the Rudar Swordsmen, I really, I think they're going to struggle here. Just because of these Western kingdoms of men really relying on that heavy armor. And, you know, them lacking armor piercing. But at the same time, they do pump out a lot of damage. So we can see how that goes. It's not such a good fight now for the boys. And they're having a bit more trouble now that they've been backed up. But, and especially, sort of joined together, I managed to get some shots on their side. Their right side as well. So they're lacking that shield bonus there, which is quite pleasant. What have we got falling on back here? Yeah, a lot of men organised. Ooh, that's a big clump. We don't have anything to punish that clump right now, but hey, it's something to look at later as we have our Dragon's Breath cannon edging ever closer to our position. I love this little bump here. It's a nice place to just have that tower. So yeah, as you can see, I just basically took my Nurad halberds, stretched them out all the way so they can kind of defend all the bridges. So if Mithrandir comes and he takes his retinue coming charging down any of those bridges, I can jump on him and start stabbing away. And even an exceptional unit of lancers like the Mithrandir's retinue will not stand up very long up against halberdiers. So they are taking more losses, and I've taken my, yeah, so they're a little bit safer over here. They can keep shooting, but they hopefully won't take any more losses. So I will still be able to get all of their ammunition used up. If you are able to use up all of your ammunition in a siege, then yeah, that's what you want. Yeah, this situation, the Shield Guard are really performing better than I imagined them to. I knew that they would do very well, but this is great. So they, of course, their Númenórean blood is a bit thicker than the Forest-Aaron Defenders have. Forest-Aaron Defenders may not be too diluted, but it seems to be the case. Even the Marchers out of ammunition will provide a bit more mass to this front line, but I don't think that they're doing a huge amount of killing to us here. This is more just holding us back, and holding us back is great, but you've got to always think about, like, you know, what am I doing? Why am I holding them back here? If you're just buying yourself time, then is that really gaining you anything? You know, if you're buying yourself time so that you can shoot them more, great. Or if you can maneuver something around, awesome. But just right now, I just feel this is sort of buying themselves time for the sake of it. Evenham Spearmen still standing their ground there. And more Forest-Aaron Defenders coming forward. But the more ammunition we send on those militia and those heavily armoured spearmen, the less ammunition we can pour into the pikes. As I do often say, I think that ammunition is far more important to the defenders than the attackers. But not, you know, attackers still rely on it a bit. These heavily armoured veterans of Osgiliath Guy's got an eye patch there. A lot of them have eye patches. Just orcs in Osgiliath really like to try and shoot you in the eye, I suppose. We're sending them shots into their backs, though, so that will take them out little by little. They're, of course, great archers, but you really want to use the veterans of Osgiliath in melee later on in the battle. So, yeah, trying to blast a few of them down is to your benefit. Flying on back over. Variag Bowman coming back now. I think they might be... No, they're not out of ammunition. I just didn't really want to lose any more of them, I suppose. Or I couldn't really get a shot, so I was just falling back. But I'm not really taking much the strain here. Do I have any units at the front yet? No, I don't. I just kind of don't want to I just don't want to, like, fill it up for the sake of it. You know, we're winning on this front line. We're having some good, efficient exchanges. What are we at right now? We're at 4 for 9, which is a great position to be in the attack. But we've really only been killing the enemy fodder. But we've only really been losing our fodder too. These Corsair infantry are charging forward. Now the Corsair infantry might be swordsmen. Oh, backed up by some Belagar archers. This is really the cream of the crop. But they've managed to turn that force around so that Clateti is going to get a good backstab here with his Rudar swordsman. Or if not, just he'll engage the Doranurl archers, who he will tear through. Either or is a good choice. But the Ravenhelm's coming on in, and as much as I may not love the Ravenhelms, that will be an easy victory for them up against the Rudar swordsmen. And we don't really have any archers anymore to come and support. We have used up a fair bit. Probably got some archers down here though. Good, yep, some more Corsair infantry from Agalar. Yeah, nobody's shooting up and over. It's all pretty damn good. Only 5 shots from those guys though. They are... hybrid units at the end of the day. These Arthedain marksmen out of ammunition, so they're coming toward the front too, just to stand their ground or possibly charge on in. Yeah, as we thought, these Ravenhelms are just tearing through the Rudar swordsmen, taking a bit of friendly fire, unfortunately, which is going to hurt them, but it's not going too bad. Casimir's Rangers actually firing into this blob. Okay. I would have maybe held their ammunition for a little bit longer. Seeing if something else came up, but I'm sure he's not going to use all of it. Fresh unit of Variag Bowmen arriving now, so I can pour a bit more ammunition into that front line. This is real, like, this is a pretty, I'm pretty impressed with how this is going so far. You know, we are using our ammunition quite efficiently. Nobody's kind of just blindly charging in and doing anything silly, but that's what I would kind of expect from this more experienced team. And Sun is still restraining himself, which is good to see. Where is that cannon, though? Here it is. It's not firing yet, but it is thinking about it. It's going to be moving up into a position soon, I suspect. More Variag Bowman fire. What are we going for? Nope, still just this chunk here. Yeah, see, I'd love to get the Casimir's Rangers down here. Maybe I should have advised him on that, but I'm sure he would have seen that anyway. I'm coming forward with my Variag warriors. They might be arguably their swordmasters, but not so much. That armor upgrade will keep them a bit safer though, but I'm just kind of wanting to power through that right side. Dragon's Breath cannon did fire just there, and it tore right through these axemen. I might even have killed a few of the men at arms as well, so we were pretty happy with that. What's up on that ridge? Dunedain Rangers spotting us. That's an amazing position up there. As I say, that to be honest is one of the major places that I think gives Tol Falas the... it's one of the main reasons that I think Tol Falas can be a 3v5. Just because there's so many points like that you can just absolutely dunk on the attackers. But we are overwhelming them a bit. Now that they've got some pikes forward though, armoured pikemen, that's providing a lot of stability to their lines. And even though we're kind of firing off pot shots, we're not really able to do enough damage to punish these pikemen. I've curled around the flank there, as I say, with my Variag warriors, but these Edhelm men-at-arms are going to be answering to that. And lacking AP, you know, we might be quite skilled. We'll be doing a lot of damage to these pikes, but as I say, the Edhelm men-at-arms arriving, that's a pretty decent counter to us. We say as we get victory is certain. But after that, though, what do they still have in reserve here? Only some Edelin men-at-arms. They are either going to need to put more troops up here, or they're going to have to consider falling back. Axeman Losanak, of course. How is that looking here? Yeah, so they're pretty thin on the ground, and they're suffering defeat all along the line. Especially when we've got Alcarondas Legion forward, they're going to be fighting to the end. They can't rely on us breaking and falling back. My first unit of Variag Warriors there really struggling, down to 50 men. As the men-at-arms are just pushing our right flank. They're having victory all along the line now, as these Doranernal archers move forward. Variag Mercenary Riders from Sun coming over this way, helping us out. I've got my Nurad Halberds standing by. Now, okay, I'm moving on in with them. I think I basically just saw that they've got a phalanx on the front line. We could use a phalanx on the front line. I've got quite a lot of Nurad Halberds, but I'm going to be taking losses here as I advance. Perhaps I should have taken them out of formation, run, and then put them back into formation closer. But it's such a crowded area that I'm not too worried about how many halberds I lose. As long as I get a few of them there to just provide a bit of stability, crush these Edelin men-at-arms that have made a bloody devastating push into my Variag warriors back. That could be very beneficial. Sun is being quite cautious with his ammunition for that cannon. Where is the cannon gone? Oh, it's coming over here. Interesting. Yeah, this is my little area. I just love this spot when I'm attacking on Tol Falas. It's really something I can make good use out of. Casimir's Rangers have come over here, and I think that might be what we need to really even the playing field, or really turn it in our favour. As these pikemen will just get ripped through. My halberds have arrived, but they're having a bit of trouble. They have sorted themselves out. No, good. They're doing good now. And they're actually backed up by the Sentinels. I'd love to take credit with my halberds, but in reality, it's the Sentinels doing this. It is definitely the Sentinels providing that bonus to us. Aguilar's really going all out here, and he's suffered a lot of casualties for us, but he's done a good bit of killing. We're still ahead, which is nice. Variag Bowman now totally out of ammunition. So am I going to make a push across the bridge? That's a bit interesting. I might be preparing myself to. Just kind of, yeah, I like to kind of just position units at the bridges just so that they have to leave something there. They can't just, you know, think that we're not going to push it at all. So that's not too bad. Once the Variag Bowmen are out of ammunition, when I've given them that armor upgrade, they can do something in melee. They're not going to win many awards, but they're not really a great hybrid men-at-arms unit or anything like that. But they can do something. They're gonna do better than a lot of units. Well, Casimir's Rangers still firing away, down to 33. That's quite a decent number for just you know, when you've got a full unit like, you know, 80 Rangers firing down a line, then that's what you want to kind of just suddenly break a formation. But to get just efficiency and like good constant killing, getting taken down to 30 is really not too bad a thing. Arthedain men-at-arms coming forward. You just saw the Dunedain Rangers disappear again. They just seem to pop up, give a few kills, and then hide away again. Yeah, my halberds, as the Sentinels just taking, just really leading the way. We're just coming in to back them up a little bit, provide a bit of armor piercing. But those Arthedain pikes are kind of struggling now. We've got a mixture of these unarmored and, well, decently armored and then very heavily armored pikes in the line. Some more men-at-arms coming forward to shore up the position. Dunman the Hunters really just going to provide numbers there. They've only got these little little axes in some cases. But yeah, pretty small weapons. They're not really going to be able to do too much. But their numbers might end up breaking that right flank of the defenders as they continue to pour more and more forces down this way at us. Corsair crossbows, we knew they'd be somewhere. I'm getting my footmen dotted around here. I like what they've done with the footmen. You know, footmen used to be really quite a cheap AP men-at-arms unit. I think they had 3 attack. That was all they had. Their only real benefit was that they had some semblance of armor and a decent shield, and they were armor piercing. Whereas now they're a lot more expensive, but they've turned them into a really fearsome unit. So I have pushed. Oh no, this is Sun come over this bridge to just tease away at the defenders, fire off some shots, but he's running on back now. Over here, I've pushed up, and I'm about to get meeten by some... Meeten? What the hell? I'm about to get met by some Tornastian spears, and it looks like I don't want to take that fight. I'm falling back, which is fair enough. I think what I kind of wanted was to hold them in place with my bowmen, and have the Variag mercenary riders come in and then shoot them in the back. That was the dream. Oh, I've got my nomadic scouts though, who they've not used up any of their javelins yet, so they are really wanting to hammer them into the front lines. Nurad footmen positioning themselves ready to cross the bridges. We've made a good bit of progress across the... Well, we've not made much progress, but we've done a lot of killing on the land bridge. So I do think it's about time that I started to push the 3 main bridges here. Dunman hunters having a lot of trouble against the Arthedain marksmen. It's pretty interesting when you see these sorts of fights, but generally when it comes to the Western Kingdoms of Men, their mid-tier archers are always going to be able to do half decently in melee, just because they will always give them some armor. That's it. Of course, this big dismounted Forester Knight splitting that guy in half with his two-handed sword is quite a benefit to have. Peacekeepers are forward now. They've definitely got what it takes to go toe-to-toe with the Alcarondas Legion. Not if they take too many axes to the face, of course. They need to get slammed into the front line before we just hammer them to pieces. Cortetti's still got a swarm of Rudar swordsmen in reserve that could just come flying forward. Gondor archers, the vengeful one, having to send over forces, which, as I say, that's just helping out, and it's going to make, in time, when Son of the Dunedain does come flying forward, he's got less to face down. Tirthair marksman, that looks like it was an interrupted shot. Yeah, I think it was. Son is pushing across that bridge with his Variag mercenary riders. Oh, what's he shooting at? Up and over into the Arthedain pikes. Yeah, that's sound. Yeah, they are spread out, but whenever they spread out and they are kind of in these these perfect lines, it still is quite. It's not super difficult to get a shot. It's harder than it would be if they were all packed together, of course, but it's not super difficult. Colliding over here, I really expected this to go massively in my favor. You know, my men-at-arms are piercing, and also their standard men-at-arms. Good, it is now. But it took me a minute to really start doing damage to those spearmen. But now that we are mincing through them. And there isn't a huge amount here in reserve to come and back up this force. And even if it does, it's all generally heavily armoured men, which my Nurad footmen are more than happy to deal with. But there is stuff standing by. As I say, I've got my nomadic scouts. Ah, good. More Nurad footmen coming to push across this bridge. Yep, very flimsy front line now. We have weakened it down tremendously. As we're about 10% ahead, so we're chuffed to bits with this. Adunam Shield Guards still having a good fight over here. The Arthedain men-at-arms, or man-at-arms, battling away with his, fallen brother of, Arnor. So we'll just sort of sit and watch that for a minute. But, yeah, so I'm pretty excited to go away for a little while. It's been far too long since I've been back at sea. And I'm excited to see how scheduling videos goes for me. Oh, I thought he was dead, but no, he gets back up. As I say, it depends on how many I can store up. Right now, it'd be quite easy to just store up, say, 5 videos and just put them out one a week. But I've already got 2 stored up, and I've got another month before I have to go away. So if I try to keep to a schedule of... Oh, that was the poor Arthedain man-at-arms went down there. If I try to keep to a schedule of, say, 3 Reforged videos a week coming out right now, then I should be able to make, say, maybe 5 a week. and just put away 2 of them, so that I can maybe put out, say, 2 videos a week. I don't know if I'll be able to store up that many, because I have a lot of other little projects that I'm wanting to complete before I go as well. I want to get all of my... I've almost gotten all of my Stormworks videos out, which is nice, and then I've got another heap load of Synergy videos to put out. So the Synergy videos really will be... I'll see how many I've got at the end of it. Right now I think I've got about sort of 15 of them to put out, so if I was to put out 1 every day, that would just be, you know, it would take too long. But we'll see how it goes. Might be something I do as an additional schedule. I managed to get my nomadic marauders around this side and started just raining javelins into the main line, which I was chuffed to bits with. Considering how much trouble these poor Norad footmen are having. And over here as well, it was a good run for a while, but now that the Edhland men-at-arms, without an armor upgrade, have arrived on the front line, it's really not going too well for me. And I just need to get all of these javelins out of the nomadic marauders before that position is broken and they rush forward to stop me. And I actually get my other unit of I've got a unit of nomadic scouts over there to rain hell on this line. So I quite liked my little crisscross tactic that I had going on there. It was working pretty well for me. But it's still biding our time. As so you really want somebody that can have the patience to come down Death Valley. You know, there's a lot of times where a newer player will just kind of see how we're doing on the other side and go in. And it's not to say that that's a bad thing, but the problem is being 1 army over here, or maybe being like 1.5 at best, you're going to come in and you're not going to, like, you might get a lot of kills and you might gain quite a good bit of territory, but you yourself are not going to last for that long. You know, this has been, because we've got so many forces over here, we are able to just have this as a grind fest for so long. Alcrondas Legion mixed in with my Brotherhood of the Sword coming forward. So that's my arguably an elite unit. Definitely just 1 hit point, not sort of general bodyguard tier, but pretty damn good. The Brotherhood units are really what give Cand quite a sturdy force in, well, at least the infantry. Their cavalry can kind of speak for themselves without the Brotherhood, but when it comes to their infantry, they really do need the Brotherhood units to mix it up. And we have finally used up all of the troops in this position. These Terrathar marksmen trying to use up what's left of their ammunition, but as I say, with these mid-tier human archers, they're going to be able to do okay in melee. We've got the Narem actually that have come around this way. Sun sent them over here to rack up some kills. Yeah, it doesn't actually look like they're taking much damage from those hits, does it? Yeah, because those arrows just seem to sort of explode on contact, so it doesn't really have the same weight as the normal arrows do. Varag mercenary riders trying to chase them down, but I think they will probably escape because I'm not going to be able to break through here. This was really more of a distraction, or a bit of like an afterthought, really. I wasn't really intending to break through. I did gain some good ground at the start, and it was looking quite nice for me. These poor nomadic marauders, they're not going to do anything. They're just there. I don't think that they're those weapons look like they're AP, don't they? But I'm pretty sure that they're not AP in melee. I might be wrong in that. If they are AP in melee, that makes them really quite good, because they're very cheap for what they can do. Fire arrows coming into here. I've already broken, so the fire arrows are just insult to injury at this point. So these men are going to hopefully be able to turn around and deal with me. Well, deal with the attackers that are running down that hillside. Variag bowmen trying to chase them down. Arthedain pikemen actually moving forward to engage, which I get because, no, we've got so much more coming. I would probably be wanting to just get out. I'd be wanting to fall back at this point. What are they at? 45, so yeah. I think 45 is maybe a fair enough thought to start thinking about falling back. But you got to keep in mind what they have left are the Peritel Champions, just all of Dol Amroth's exceptional units, and all of the elites, really. The Wardens of the North have used up their ammunition. That's interesting to see. But they're still a damn good swordmaster. And we are kind of running... how are we doing for elite units? We don't have heaps of them. I've still got my Storm Guard, I think. Oh, one halberd! Nice! Good man, standing his ground when everybody else is falling. You know, when all of your brothers die in battle, you've really kind of got to... You know, you can't just be like, yeah, no, we're just gonna run off now. No, everybody else sacrificed. It's time for you to do the same. Reforged Javelins here, still with their Javs. Balkath Axe Guard, a lot of pikes from Clateti. And the Enslavers from him. And the Black Wolves too, actually. Great up against a Western Kingdom man. What's this green here? Is it a unit routing? No, it's my Storm Guard. Just standing by. Could probably do with moving them forward now, because they've maybe got a bit too much distance. Have I sent something over to support this position? No, these are just everything that I had as standard over here. But Sun is advancing now with his flag rim. Veterans of Osgiliath holding their fire, as are the marksmen of Cair Andros. But those flag rim will definitely do a damn good job up against the Gondorian infantry with that armor upgrade. But the amount of firepower that they might take might not go so well for them. They do have a shield, they do have quite decent armor, but yeah, it could still be messy. Flag rim using either a mace or one of those little armor-piercing hand axes. What I worry about... Oh, they were quite spread out. Vengeful Ones needing to get those pikes together. They are coming together quite quickly, but Sun managed to sort of make a collision beforehand. See, oh, this is... Alright, okay, I thought that was me. I thought I was coming in to support him and I was charging down the same bridge. This is really where you kind of would want to come down other bridges with melee infantry. But now that we have made that push, it is time for Sun to do it. Because he can hold those Gondorian forces in place and stop them from being able to rout up this hill or run up that hill. Brother to the Axe with my general has launched themselves on in here, having a good fight. Nothing that he can really be challenged with there. My halberds having some good success up against these pikes, but that's quite an organised pike line. And as I say, the longer that a battle goes on for pikes, usually the better it goes for them. But more Brotherhood coming in to fill up those gaps. Just try to make sure that they can't slip a unit around us. Rudar clansmen coming forward. My general falls there to an Arthedain men-at-arms. Well, after a few stabs from the Tornastians too, of course. But my men are... These are Brotherhood boys. I don't have a huge amount of fodder left. I do have the Nurad units that really could benefit from a general, I suppose. But it's not too bad. We're getting some good shots there. This would be an amazing place to have a ranger. But I think we've used up all of our rangers. Mithrandir's retinue have turned up. They've maybe missed their opportunity to be used. They have definitely been mucking about a bit, and I think they actually gave Sun a bit of trouble, but no, nothing too much now. Nomadic scouts kind of would love the opportunity to try and smash into them. Troll Slayers there. We saw in one of my recent battles I was trying to play as Arthedain. Well, I was playing as Arthedain, and Rudar just absolutely dissolved my Troll Slayers very quickly. They're not good at taking fire. But he does want to use up all of their ammunition, as the Balakath Axe Guard and all of these Candish men just try to push forward through this line. Have they got anything still standing up on this hillside? No, they do not. No. Oh, yeah, no. The Clateti was good. He took his fodder just to have a quick search around. I probably should have done that with my nomadic scouts, to be honest. It's always a good idea to just make sure that your enemy isn't hiding anything from you. But, so this is really the thing with holding the enemy back, you know. Even though they're not really getting many kills, all they're doing is holding us in place, but is allowing them a great chance to use up all of this ammunition on us. Now, we're using our ammunition on them, but losing some Tol Falas Marines, not really hurting you too bad. You know, those Marines can do something in melee for sure, but not, you know, nothing drastic. Vengeful Ones saved a lot of forces over here, which allows him to really quite nicely block up Son of the Dunedain's forces. Even with my reinforcements here, I'm getting picked away at. As I say, once again, Vengeful One's been saving his ammunition for this, so this is not going too well for us. And this is this attack is kind of falling on its face. I've got my nomadic raiders over here trying to just fire into the side of those Fountain Guard. they don't really have a shield, but they've got sturdy armor. My nomadic raiders really don't fire the best quality arrows. The Baltroth tribesmen are coming forward though. They will change the game. Apart from that, we've got unit Variag warriors running forward, and a Nurad footman force in reserve. But that is pretty much that. There's one more unit here, hiding. Oh yeah, the guildsmen. Guildsmen are there, so that's good. Oh yeah, looking for the minus button, not the plus. Continuing to fire in here, and we actually, because of the amount of ammunition they've been using on us, we are pretty thin on the ground, and I'm throwing my Variag bowmen into the fight, but my general's dead. I don't really have any morale buffing units around them. They're not going to stand their ground very long, especially when they're losing that badly. So this has gone from being exceptionally good for us to actually pretty bad. We're losing on the other side, and you know, here we're about to break en masse. Dunman spears. I really do talk up Rudour's morale. I love Rudour's morale. I think it's one of my favorite reasons to play them. But you know, the Dunman spears don't really share that. You know, they're not pure Rudour men. They're from the south. But still, they'll do their best. The Nurad Stormguard, they do provide a bit of a morale buffer, and they are exceptional, especially in this sort of engagement. So I'm throwing them on forward. Trying to pick a spot for them though. Ah, yeah, I really wanted them to go toe to toe with the Innuminous Gate Guard. So, but the dismounted force there in Knights charged on through. Black Swan Renegades coming up now. Nurad Halberds fighting to the death there, but even if they did rout away, they probably wouldn't return. So I'm pretty glad they're fighting to the death. There are some times where you really don't want a unit to fight to the death, but this is one of the times that I'm actually pretty glad that it is. So the Nurad Stormguard immediately got split to pieces and are being picked apart by the men of the West. So it's not going as well as I kind of wanted it to for the poor Stormguard. They've really pushed through us, and we've got so many forces in reserve. Maybe just some Rudour swordsmen could come up and stabilize this, but it is getting pretty messy as the defenders just in tandem use all of their elite forces. And as bad as this is kind of looking, over on this side, there's no more reinforcements for Gondor. Gondor's got everything he has up on the front lines right now. My Variag's warriors, I threw them into this knowing that they would die, but I just needed to hold them back from the archers and hope that their relative skill with that two-handed sword is going to keep them safe. But all in all, yeah, we've kind of been shunted back and forced to just rely on our ranged units. I've still got my Nurad footmen that could do something, but I felt that this was going in a pretty bad way, and I didn't really want to just pour more wood onto the fire. About 9,000 frames left here. But we're having success on this front line again. My Stormguard have managed to organise themselves into a much sort of better position. The Innuminous Gate Guard are actually not fighting, they're just standing there. There's only 18 of them, but still, they could definitely help stabilise the line. And the Dunman Pikes are actually keeping back this exceptional force of Black Swan Renegades. And we're seeing even some dismounted dismounted Knights of Innuminous mixed up in that as well. Variag Mercenary Riders coming flying forward. Actually, I'm really surprised that they're standing their ground. Black Swan Renegades routing. Pirate Hill Champions routing. That was quite a big unit of Pirate Hill Champions to rout. Yeah, there was 21 of them there, and they had lost quite a few of them. Damn, the Pirate Hill Champions shouldn't be routing like that. Half-Elven Swordmasters. But I guess they are taking a lot of Ranger fire. Good, the Rangers are finally here, and they're sort of tearing through this position. So, what are they at now? 76. I'd maybe, if I would really probably suggest the defenders to fall back at this point, but once again, you fall back, you entirely leave Gondor to the wolves, which is not such a good idea. Vengeful One is routing back because all he'd be doing out here is taking crossbow fire, and he doesn't really want to do that. But Sun's force is entirely, you know, crossbow based and archer based. These Variag mercenaries can do something in melee, but really not much. So even my nomadic raiders are there. You know, it's we need some more infantry support here. So the fact that they've fallen back is going to make it a lot tougher for us to push up. And in addition to that, when we kind of were thinking that they were all going to be falling back up to the main hilltop, that doesn't seem like Vengeful One's the Vengeful One's plans. He wants to make this fight in the town. Warden's the North coming forward, but really low on numbers now. And this is what I say all the time, like, just a nice beefy unit of pikes can hold back exceptional quality units, as long as they're able to stay organised and they've got the numbers. Which, are at this point in the fight, 61 men in one pike unit is pretty good. More javelins coming forward, hitting my storm guard, but lucky for me, there's a lot of Rudauer swordsmen, more than ready to throw their bodies in the way of these javelins for me. So that's very kind of the wild men. And there is a gap here. Balakath Axguard are pushing through, Rudauer swordsmen are pushing through as well. And I've still got some nomadic scouts. They're out of ammunition, but yeah, we can maybe get them thrown in at some point. I'm pretty low on manpower at this point. I think they're just about the only unit I've got left, with the exception of my Storm Guard, who are now quite badly injured. Still 39 of them though, so as long as they don't take too many more hits, they'll do okay. Dismounted Knights, Knight of the Silver Swan. As I say, they're really... I think they get a bit too much crap sometimes. I like them, I do. Their stats are not great, but at the end of the day, they're a 2 hit point unit, and it's their morale buff that I like them for. You know, they really do help keep the Dol Amroth line together, even if they're not really ever going to be racking up that many kills. Ah, fantastic work here. Yeah, so Vengeful One was good enough not to really use up his cavalry in a silly manner. He saved them for an opportunity, and that opportunity has kind of arisen here, as he just ploughed right into these mercenaries. Yeah, it's gone okay, but he needs to get them the hell out. Yeah, like, look at all those corpses. But lucky for him, you know, the Mithrandir's retinue are an exceptional unit of lancers. They can kind of survive this, but that's the general. Damn, they really do need to get out of there. I've got my nomadic raiders. I tried to shoot at them, because the fear is we actually don't have any spears. If you look through this force, we've got crossbows. Oh, Shadow Guard. I think Shadow Guard do actually get an anti-cavalry bonus, so it's not horrendous. That was one of the defenders admitting defeat. I'm not sure who though. Could be Dol Amroth, I think. Yeah, I think that was Cole admitting defeat. But I don't see any Arthedain forces either. So this really is the Vengeful One now. Ah, yep. As is Marksman of Caer Andros up here. Good. Managed to drop the Arthedain general, killed by a Herenadain berserker. At least it was someone with some Dunedain blood in them. Or Numenorian. Should probably not call the Herenadain Dunedain. Marksman of Caer Andros actually doing a pretty damn good job here. As I say, they're pretty much sword masters. They've taken it. They're in guard when they're trying to take out their bows. I don't know if I'd do that. I think when you outnumber those axe guards so badly, so much that I think they would be able to mince them in melee. You know, having them all take out their bows like that to try and get a shot off is not the idea I'd go for. But Harbingers of Castamere though, that will shut them down. They could deal with that. All of this they could definitely deal with, but the Harbingers of Castamere, no sir. That's too much for them. So I charge my men around. I say I'm wanting to hunt down Mithrandir. We definitely want to kill some wizards today. So trying to chase them on down. Another beautiful charge. We missed it. A few dead cavaliers there, but it definitely hurts Sun's archers. So he's having to lead the way with his Shadow Guard, his 2 units of Shadow Guard. But yeah, it's quite interesting that Gondor's not fallen back up to the hilltop. Of course, he couldn't have really made it there. Arguably, maybe if he ran, he would have just gotten up to the hill as we were climbing up behind him. But he would have gotten there. He would have been exhausted. So it's probably better for him to fall back into the town. So I come slamming into his Gondorian infantry with my nomadic scouts. I managed to kill one, but it's kind of it was a pretty equal trade, and then my men end up routing. So, bit of a bold move. Bit of a silly move. But yeah, I tried it. And I think it was probably just because these Ravenhelms are hiding inside of this building. And there's a lot of scary stuff around them. And I think I actually connected with them and then bumped into them too. So it was just a goner situation. It'd be really cool if we could get some fighting inside the buildings, you know. But this is quite a cool matchup, actually. The Ravenhelms versus the Shadow Guard. If it was an even Stevens 90 up against 90, my money would probably be on the Ravenhelms. But the fact that the Camel's Shadow Guard have armor piercing and they outnumbered them almost 2-1 at the start of the fight is enough for me to hand it to the Shadow Guard. What else do we have coming on in? Nothing over here just yet. Eastern crossbows looking for a target, actually. Are they getting any? Well, that was an interrupted shot. The Fountain Guard are right here, though. Is that building stopping shots or not? That is always the question. Because a Fountain Guard, a unit of Fountain Guard taking a crossbow shot would really be upsetting. I take my nomadic raiders around now. I'm wanting to try and push up here. You know, these Gondorian infantry are held in place. The Ravenhelms are held in place. Why not just move my archers up to this position? Get some side shots on the Fountain Guard, I thought, you know? It'll be easy. And Rudar Swordsman, Cloteti is coming to back me up. Everything else, Storm Guard even. So I start running all over. Set myself up. Get my sights on the Fountain Guard. And then Gondorian archers come running out of the building. And break me immediately. Don't even try to fight. Boys just, you know, they just saw a bunch of Gondorian archers phase through the wall and they were gone. So yeah, that was a shame. It was definitely surprised me. I quite liked it. It was definitely a good use of these buildings. I do like how you can sort of move in and out of some buildings. I know it definitely, like, and I shouldn't really say this because I'm the guy that sort of goes on and on about immersion in every battle. But no, it's not too bad. Like, a soldier could get inside a building. They could walk through a building. So, you know, it's fair enough. After that sneak attack, though, we slam some crossbowmen into their backs. And we really are just using our archers as melee, because it's just such a crowded, clustered engagement at this point that we wouldn't be able to really get our shots off. Fountain Guard battling up against the Shadow Guard. But as I say, this is another situation where the poor Gondorians are just outnumbered by a damn good unit. So they're just not able to face them. Gondorian infantry popping up here. As the Eastern crossbows actually... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! We're going crazy here. That was an absolute party. There were 4 guys dancing out there. He's going for it. That's the longest one I've ever seen from this man. Wow, impressive stuff. As I say, it must be two-handed units. It must be something to do with, like, getting hit by a two-handed unit, just making you do a weird animation that, you know, has somehow maybe been broken at some point in the development of Reforged. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. Nurad Footmen there. Yeah, this is a good fight for them. They do have some armor, and they're up against the Citadel Guard there, but still, they don't... They kind of rely more on just their numbers. You know, they are an evil man at the end of the day, so... yeah, so they really sort of rely more on their armor their numbers rather than any armor or even that nice beefy shield. So having armor piercing isn't a surefire way to beat them. Coming over here, my Storm Guard battling away with the Belfalas Marines and some Axemen. And Vengeful One just coming out here, grabbing the Corsair crossbows, breaking them. Haven Guard popping out alongside the Wanderers of Nimrodel. So it must have been... Okay, no, it wasn't Dol Amroth. It must have been Arthur Dane that admitted defeat. Because the Wanderers of Nimrodale are battling away here. They're actually having a good fight, which is quite impressive. Poor guards of Osgiliath surrounded by some of these pikes. Haven Guard doing what they do. As long as they can avoid getting stabbed by these pikes, they will do very, very well. And Veterans of Osgiliath coming forward. Bind them. Some, oh, that's the same unit, Veterans of Osgiliath, just mopping through these last 3 Ferodrum Javelins. The rest of us being held back by these Axemen. These Axemen are bloody winning? Oh, I guess they're just killing off a lot of Rudar Swordsmen, but still. It's not really something you should see. Yeah, my Nurad Footmen have been taking a lot of casualties there. They've been killing a hell of a lot, I should say, but But yeah, they're down to 87. They're shaking. And that is with the help of the Baltroth tribesmen over there. The last of the cavalry is dealt with, I think. And we're definitely approaching the ending state. Oh no! The general is still alive, but of course the unfortunate thing with that is that the general can't bring down a lance. So he doesn't really... You know, he can't really do anything absolutely insane with his charging, you know. Sometimes if you do... I do have a battle on my channel where I think I've got like 3 Tharbad riders, or 3 riders of Tharbad, that just keep running around the map and just lancing people apart. But it's just the fact that all 3 of them are lancers that's the great thing. Camels, shadow bows, all the way up there on the cliffside. So that's really that's helping us out quite a bit. Let's zoom on in and probably just go into 2 times speed, I think. Actually, no, we've only got 100 frames, well, a few hundred frames left. So yeah, I know that this one wasn't as close as I often do, but I just really liked, the main thing that I really enjoyed about this one was just like the guerrilla warfare inside the town. It was, you don't often see this section of Tol Falas getting used, so I say it all the time, like Tol Falas is, you can do so many different things in it. Every part of Tol Falas can be made into a defensive position. And this was kind of just to show that off. And it's also, I just really want to get through these old recordings. This one, as I say, this one was midway through November. So, because while I'm away, who knows, the hotfix might come out. I might not really want to do any old recordings of my previous battles. So, actually, shoot, we've got over 1,000 frames left. I thought that was an 8 there. Oh well, YOLO. Let's just jump up to 2 times the speed then. Yeah, these guys are winning that fight. Goodness sake. So yeah, I'll be going through a lot of my older ones just to make sure they're done, because I've kind of been putting them on the back burner for a really long time, because I like to kind of forget what happened so that I'm a bit surprised. But it's always good to just remember those little moments. Like I really did just love it when those Gondorian archers charged on out and just broke my units immediately. But yeah, once again, if you've got a battle you want me to do, try to get it to me before the 20th. If it's after the 20th, don't worry. I send, and you really want me to do it personally, like I'll probably just say send it to Mighty, send it to Scout, do what you want with it. But like I might still be able to do it. So we'll see. I'll roll through my kills first. Brother the Axe actually did really quite well. I was chuffed to bits with them. They definitely had an armor upgrade, most certainly. Probably 2 actually. I think both of my Brotherhood had 2 armor upgrades. I really like the idea of, because the Brotherhood of the Sword have such a high defensive skill, so giving them an armor upgrade in addition to that just makes them this machine of defense. Obviously not a machine of attack, of killing, as you can see. But I think those casualties, prisoners caught as well. Okay, cool. No, I thought they might have been shot to pieces. Variag warriors, triple Variag warriors. Whenever I play Can, I'm going to bring lots of them, just because I love the aesthetic of them. I know they're not great, but I just love them. And they did their job. Some of them had especially on the right side up against the Valley of Death, up against those Gondorians. That was not a fun fight for them. Norad Stormguard handled themselves very well, I think. They still had a lot of killing to do. They had a lot of men left, so yeah. Solid 32. Then my triple halberds, actually not doing so well. That surprises me. Interesting. I would have thought better. I guess maybe they were kind of targeted by a lot of shooting, but still, 10? Wow, that surprises me. Norad Footman actually out-killing them over, just about in every unit. That's crazy, yeah. Oh well, chuffed a bit with Norad Footman, one up for the men-at-arms today, I guess. Variag Bowman there, getting some decent kills. Nomadic Raiders doing alright, as I say, they're there to get killed. I did see 124 men actually healed from that fight, so they were just shot to pieces. Nomadic Marauders there, doing not too bad. I only had 1 unit of Nomadic Scouts. I see. Okay, I thought I might have had 2. But yeah, cool. I need to find out if the Nomadic Marauders are armor piercing in melee or not. I'm not sure if they are, because if they are, then heck, I'm taking more of them. But yeah, apart from that, let's see. So Sun had a pretty tough job. Coming through the Valley of Death always isn't that is always the toughest situation. Especially, you know, considering a lot of Sun's power was his crossbows, and he wasn't really able to use his crossbows too well. So, as I say, good patience from Sun. Very grateful that he was able to hold his cool. Clatete there, you know, he had so much manpower remaining. He could have been like the human swarm at the end of it if we needed him to be, but you know, he was careful. He wasn't wasteful. A lot of the time when you do bring a horde, like he brought more men than anybody else in the battlefield. So a lot of the time when you do bring a horde, you feel inclined to just throw your men away willy-nilly, and then you wonder why you've run out of men. So no, Clatete was careful with them. Aguilar coming in hot with those elite units early on, and really helping us out. You know, he definitely had the most elite army out of all the attackers. So, you know, you would kind of expect him to kind of be the last person to come on in. But him coming in first really did some damn good work for us. I say I kind of disagreed with a bit of Y2K's calls, sending like what he sent out at us. It did work well, but like, as I say, I think had they tried to hold us a little bit further back, where their rangers and archers could have used that you know, the hillside I mentioned a bit more effectively, then I think maybe we could have done. I just think they tried to hold us a little bit too far down the land bridge. Cole there, yeah, you know, pretty good stuff. I love that he gave the pikes an armor upgrade. Always a solid choice, I think. And I think he used the pikes at the right time. Like when those pikes came onto the land bridge, they were really messy. Unfortunate about that mass rout with the Black Swan Renegades and the Paratel Champions. They had a lot more killing they could have done. So that was unfortunate for them. But then, yeah, Vengeful One, I was chuffed to bits with that. I think it was good that he saved his Mithrandir's retinue for the right time, because I'm upset that I missed out on a lot of the charging, because he really had Sun and I worried as we were coming across those bridges. You know, after he had fallen back into the city, he still had those like menacing lancers just staring us down. It was like, nope, let's just not. But yeah, so they were pretty spooky, and good use of the buildings and whatnot. But yeah, so thank you very much, guys. See you later.